This is Wesley.
This is Kashina.
And you're listening to
In Between the Lines. It's been a while, friend.
Yes, it has.
It has been a long while. But you know what? We're back in the saddle and we're ready to go. Isn't that right?
Yeah, we just gotta open up some prison gates real quick.
Yeah, open up some prison gates? Why did you say that?
Because we're going back to the old days.
The old days?
The old days.
Do you mean it's finally time?
It's finally time.
It's finally time?
Before that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, do you want to know something?
Sure.
I am thou. Thou art I. Thou hast acquired a new vow.
With the birth of the friendship persona, you have acquired new power.
So yeah, we're talking about Persona 5 Royal.
So, let me just tell you all, guys. I'm a huge, huge Persona 5 fan. I'm still working on the other Personas.
Mm-hmm.
But just to let you guys know, for those of you who don't know what Persona could possibly be, Persona 5 is a JRPG that was made by Atlas. It's about a Japanese high school student that gets transferred to a new school,
mm-hmm.
and for an entire year, you deal with some very, very...
bad things.
I was going to say bad things, but the details and how you deal with these bad things are incredible. I highly suggest you play the game yourself, but if you don't have the time to play it, I also suggest that you listen to our
second episode.
Yes, our second episode, where we go into extreme depth and close details as to what happens in Persona 5 in particular. Because in this episode, we'll be going over the updated version of Persona 5 Royal.
Mm-hmm.
And with this, we can get all new content, we get new characters, new story. A lot has changed with this game. There are some things, most of the story is still the same, so that's why I would say definitely go back to our second episode if you've never played Persona 5 Royal, or you just want to hear us go into an in-depth analysis about the boss battles and everything. Please go back to that episode, listen to it.
You kind of explained a little bit about what Persona actually means.
Yeah, we also go over about the series in general, and we also we geek out about the best things that happen in that game and how it actually relates to real life, because
I mean, we're still going to be doing the same thing with this one.
Except we're going to be going over what strictly is new and what they've added when it comes to Royal.
Yeah.
So, let's segue into that. The new things that are in Royal. What are some of the new things that are in Royal?
Well, we got new confidants.
Yes.
What else?
We have new characters.
We got new personas.
We have new story. There's just a lot of new when it comes to this game.
Oh, yeah.
So, a little rant real quick before we go into the new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly was very nervous
going into this
because, like I said, Persona 5 is the first Persona game in the series that I've ever played.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard about the other ones, and I heard that they always get updated versions of it, like about 2 years later.
Yeah, because that happened with 3, 4, now.
Now with 5.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how they would add it in. That was the one thing I was nervous about, was how they would add it in, because the trailers, when I saw it all, I freaked out.
And plus you and me also, we kept sending each other text messages about, yo, this is going down, these are new characters.
Every time a new trailer came out, me and you were just kind of like, yes, yes, yes. We were just so excited. And we were
theorizing about what was actually going to happen, in the story itself.
It was amazing. But actually going into the new content now, new characters. We have
Kasumi Yoshizawa.
And we have Dr. Maruki.
Yeah.
So, who is Kasumi?
Well, it's been it's been a while since we've actually talked about this. So.
Yes. you gotta refresh the brain. So do you want me to talk about Kasumi?
I'm trying to, I know she's a gymnast. If I remember correctly.
She's a gymnast. So she is,
and she's a freshman, not a sophomore, freshman. I was a sophomore going into high school.
She's a new student that comes to this, to the school that our protagonist is in, and, her name is Kasumi Yoshizawa, or that's how it is at the beginning of the game. We'll talk a little bit more about her later as to what happens to her. But, she's like the star student. She's an honor student. She does gymnastics. She's supposed to be...
She's on the gymnastics club.
She does everything perfectly. She's supposed to be the star role model. everybody's jealous of her, but people kind of like her, and she actually starts, becoming one of our best friends because we end up, what was it? We end up helping her out of a sticky situation.
Oh yeah. I remember the sticky situation.
I remember.
Wait, wasn't it? If I remember correctly,
It was our protagonist was going to the park to go clean up, but before.
Oh yeah, and then two dudes came over and tried to. Yeah. Okay,
yeah, he tried to hit on her, and we were like, "No, that ain't happening." We bucked up. We were like, "Nope." I
remember beforehand when we got like the trailer of just seeing that.
We thought it was so
We were like, why is he mad?
Like, why is he hitting on her? Like, what happened? Is there something going on? But that's Kasumi. She's basically like this young girl that starts following us around, and she sees us as her mentor as to how she could possibly try to help others. Because that's basically what she wants to do. But she's like super amazing, and I love everything about her.
And she always apologizes. She's always so formal.
She's honestly me. Like, the way she is, I see myself in Kasumi. Honestly.
At least you don't go around calling people senpai.
No, because usually I am the senpai. I am senpai. People tell me that I am the senpai, and I'm like, okay, sure.
Okay, indeed.
So the
next person we have is Dr. Maruki. You want to go into that one?
Yes. So Dr. Maruki is this new counselor that comes to our school because after the first boss, the school has realized, after our first boss battle, who ends up being like this very corrupt and very nasty, perverted gym teacher that we have, or our character has, the school feels as if they need...
Kamoshida.
Yeah, Kamoshida. The school feels as if they need to help the students, and in the way that they help the students, or more or less try to help their image, they hire this new counselor to come and basically talk to the students and see if they need any mental help and stuff like that to help them get through this tough time.
Yeah.
The school honestly doesn't really care, but, details. We go over that in the second episode.
He doesn't even have his own office. He just gets the nurse's office.
Yeah, but I love Maruki, and the things that happen to him in the end,
They really make you think.
They make you think, but before we get to the thinking part, let me tell you about the pre-thinking part, where young, dumb me, I say young, but I literally finished this game like 3 months ago. Young me came into Dr. Maruki, and I was just kind of like, hello, you beautiful, beautiful man. So he's like this super chill, laid-back counselor that he makes a deal with our characters because they're like, well, we don't need counseling, and, we don't need his help and everything, but everyone was like, if we don't do it, we look suspicious, so let's accept his help for now. And he ends up becoming a very valuable person. And
he gives you some very good buffs and debuffs, too.
Oh my gosh, he is like, he breaks the game, basically. Oh, I love it. I'm going to go into game mechanics here real quick. So, in the game, like I said, this is a JRPG. It's turn-based. So,
Japanese role-playing game.
If you've ever played Pokemon and you know that you can get different statuses put on you, like confusion, poison, and stuff like that.
Fire.
Fire. He said fire. That happens in this game. We have brainwashing, confusion. Well, I think it's called stun in this game.
You have freeze.
We have sleep. There's a lot of things that could happen. And with Dr. Maruki, if you level up his in the other games it used to be called social links, but if you level up his confidant, you can actually get it to where randomly you'll get the chance to just snap out of that status, and I freaking love it. I love Detox. It's my favorite thing about this game. So me and my boyfriend just loves this game when it comes to mechanics and stuff, and he plays for the persona, I play for the persona, and the story, mainly to look at the beautiful boys, but we're going to continue on from that. But anyway,
I'm only in it for the story.
You're like, I'm only in it for the story. But besides from mechanics, Dr. Maruki's part in this story, actually, at first you don't see the importance of him until you go to later on in the game, once you become closer friends with him and you find out why he's doing the things that he's trying to do.
Yeah.
Because at first we're very confused as to why he seems very interested in us.
Yeah,
but then we learn
off as kind of sketchy at first.
At first I was like, that's extra sketch, man. But he was like, you know, the principal was saying I need to particularly keep a closer eye on you guys since you guys were the ones closest to Kamoshida when all this happens. We're like, okay, so at first he's just spying on us.
Yeah.
But then it turns out that no, he's working on a research that he wants to develop to help people get through traumas.
Mm-hmm.
And it spirals into something beautiful, and at the end of the game you just want to cry, in all honesty. That's all that happens, is you just want to cry. So
or in my case, end up putting the final song onto a freaking playlist and listening to it.
Because the final song is amazing. Are you kidding me? The new music that they added in this game. Oh my god. I feel bad because you guys are just seeing me flail about and just gush about how much I love this, because I just want you guys to understand. I really love Persona 5, and I was just so enamored by Persona 5 Royal. The stuff that they did to this game. Some things I like.
It pulled my heart a lot.
There's one thing in particular I didn't like, but we're not going to talk about that. It was just, they did so much. And I guess we could talk a little bit about that after we go over some of the other new things that they've done.
Mm-hmm.
So, one of the other new things that they've done is they actually added more to Akechi's. One of my most favorite characters that I love throughout in Persona 5 is Goro Akechi. He joins our team for a little bit, and I'm not going to go into what happens with him, but let's just say I freaking love him. But
here's where we're gonna diverge a little bit. She, on one hand, loves him. When I can say this, when I started it, I hated him.
You literally were like, I don't see why you like him.
Exactly.
And I'm just like, how could you not like him? Look at him. He's beautiful. I love everything about him.
And then, growing... Before we ever got Royal, when they only looked at Akechi that way,
yeah,
I was just like, I don't like him. He betrayed me. And I'm just like, you're just like, but he's Akechi. And I'm
okay,
like...
yeah. Spoiler warning, he does betray us.
Yeah. Go back and listen to the second episode. We do a full run through.
We'll do a full run through as to why he betrays us and everything. I just freaking love him. I feel like we should just do a whole mini-sode on Goro Akechi. Like, I honestly would love it.
If that's ever the case, then that means we also have to do one on Kawakami too.
I mean, sure, we can just do random mini-sodes on different Persona characters. We'll do it. We'll do one on Nanako too.
My precious girl.
But no, so sorry. Back to this Persona, Akechi. Back in Persona 5, the original Persona 5, they didn't do much with his story. He plays a very important part because he does end up betraying us, and things that happen to him after the betrayal is very important, and, it actually causes the story to move along. But before then, his confidants were very automatic. You didn't have to go out of your way to do things to make them level up. They just happen automatically. Usually, always after a boss fight.
Yeah.
That was when those would happen. In this version, though, you actually have to, in order to get the true ending, you have to make an effort to become Akechi's friend.
Yeah.
And the new story that you get out of him, you find out so many new things, like how his father left him and his mother had to raise him on her own and stuff like that. It's just you learn so much more about his backstory, and I just fell even more in love with them. And you find out how much he actually really does have this very conflicting feeling towards our main character, because he's never had a friend as close as our character. We name him Akira, by the way.
Yeah. There's multiple names he goes by, but we call him Akira.
Yeah, we call him Akira. So I'll further, and for future reference, refer to him as Akira. He has these conflicting feelings. He wants to be his friend, but he also sees him as an enemy. There's even one point in the actual Confidant before he betrays us where he's like, in all honesty, I hate you.
Yeah. And
it's only because he sees him as a true equal to himself. He usually sees himself above other people. He's like, I'm extremely intelligent. Why do I need to bother with these other people? But with our character, he's on the same level as him. And
yeah.
I love that.
I remember
love it.
I think when he said that, in all honesty, I hate you. I felt like you were kind of destroyed when that happened.
I remember when I went through that, you weren't at that part yet.
Yeah.
And I had to sit here and wait. And then when you were like, so I'm at level 8 of Akechi's Confidant. I'm about to, level up Akechi's Confidant. And I screamed into the phone and I was like, you need to let me know when you're done with it. We need to have a talk. He goes through it and he calls me and he's like, well, that was interesting. And I hated how so you were just like, meh.
Well, because, cool. The funny thing is, because we, in all honesty, what am I trying to say? We view things differently.
Yes.
When it comes to Akechi.
I'm sorry, I'm just so biased towards Akechi, and you were like, meh.
Because, here's the thing, right? So, when I got to that part for Akechi, and he was like, honestly, I hate you. And I'm like, feelings mutual, where you go?
I was distraught. I was destroyed. My heart shattered. I was like, how could you hate me? I have done nothing but love you this whole time.
I'm just like, feelings mutual. What more can you do? We about to scrap. It
was interesting. But enough about Akechi, sadly. We must continue on with the show. I just really love Akechi, man. You just don't know.
We'll save that for another time. Keep going.
I'm sorry. So, the other thing I really want to talk about in this particular episode is the new endings that has come with this game. So this game has multiple endings. In the original, it had multiple endings. I think it had about 3 or 4.
So we have the good ending.
We had the good true ending. We had the.
Originally it was good, bad, and true ending.
Yeah, good, bad, true ending, and I forgot the exact differences of each of them, and then, yeah. So that was what happened. It was basically not that many endings, and in Persona 5 Royal, we get 2 more endings added on top of those. So to get to the new true ending, you had to do very specific things. Of course, you had to max out. I was gonna say Kawakami, Kasumi's. You had to max out Kasumi's Confidant, Dr. Maruki's Confidant, and Akechi's Confidant. And yes, I was so happy that Akechi was mandatory. But no, so you had to max out all their confidants by a specific time. And then the new true ending was unlocked. And what happens, the way you go into the new true ending is very jarring. You're expecting one thing to happen if you played through the original Persona 5. If you haven't, then you're just like, oh, it's just regular life to me.
Yeah.
Oh, mind you, I should probably let you know how long this game actually takes. The original Persona 5 took 100 hours.
Yeah, I was about to say. Didn't you say 100 hours last time?
It took 100 hours for me to complete. The Persona 5 Royal, I like how Atlas was like, oh, it's not that much extra time. No, you're right. It wasn't that much extra time. You wanna know how much extra time it was? It was 120 hours. That's how long it took for me to finish it.
They're just 100 hours? Nah, we gotta up the ante a little bit.
Ha! Rookie numbers. Let's spike that up to 120. But no, so sorry. The new true ending. Basically, a lot of things happen. And we go up to the new true ending. So you're basically given a choice. Dr. Maruki ends up becoming, spoiler warning, Dr. Maruki ends up becoming the last final boss battle.
He basically becomes the main antagonist. But he's not a bad guy. Yeah. He wants to have everybody in the world be happy, which is commendable. But by doing that, you basically cover over you basically put a band-aid onto what's causing you trauma. He wants to get rid of all traumas and change without pain. Well, actually, we're free. Blah 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 blah. I'm just, you know what? Here. He wants everyone to be happy.
He wants everybody to be happy.
If you have all this happiness, you can't have any pain.
Basically, with no pain or sadness in the world, development in the world becomes stagnant or becomes, stuck in a stalemate because why need to improve when you're at your best?
True.
So you're just left with nothing. And so with this new true ending, you're basically given 2 options. Either accept the new reality and just let everybody be happy, or you say, I reject this new reality and wish to go back to the old ways, but you bring back the pain that brings. And
Yeah.
this new ending, the true ending is you go back to the way things were and allow pain to be in the world, but that's so everybody can improve.
Yeah.
This new true ending caused a lot of controversy within the Persona community because they're like, it's very anti-Persona.
Yeah.
If you've seen the way the other Personas ended, we're not talking about Persona 3, that was just depressing. If you saw how Persona 4 ended,
Yeah.
and you saw the old true ending of Persona 5, then the way Persona 5 Royal ended was very jarring because
I mean, I was alright with it.
yeah, it was very heartbreaking to me. So would you like to, how about you talk about the new bad ending and I'll talk about the new good ending.
So what happened in the new bad ending again?
Remember in the new, no, I know, I understand.
Oh, wait, wasn't that the one, if memory serves, I gotta go through my databanks again. But I think if memory serves, that's when we're all about, well, that's when Haru and Makoto are about to graduate.
Yeah.
And so all of us are getting together to do a group photo, and Akechi comes over and he's like, oh, I can take the photo for you.
Yeah.
And then a mysterious stranger, spoiler alert,
It's Maruki.
And then he is like, oh, you're all friends. I'll take the photo for you. And so he ends up taking the photo. Then he ends up walking away. And then we, about to chase after him, look at him, smile menacingly, turn around, and go right back to our friends. And I'm like, my dude, this ain't how this is supposed to work. Granted, everyone is happy. Ryuji about to go off to college. And I'm like, I mean, I'm happy for you guys, but
Do you know what that
it ain't cool.
Do you know what that new bad ending was supposed to represent?
What?
It was supposed to represent our protagonist's wish of wanting to keep everybody together. He realized that he made a new family and this is his new life. He didn't want to go back to his old life where he was scrutinized, especially back at his hometown.
True.
He just wanted to stay here and be with everybody. That was the new bad ending, and that was what it was supposed to represent. Our protagonist's true wish of just wanting to belong and wanting to stay with the people that he belonged with. Because, I mean, you realized Yusuke. Sorry, Yosuke's from a different Persona.
We went back to Persona 4.
But Yusuke said, oh, well, maybe I should come to Shujin as well.
Yeah.
And then Morgana, who's no longer a cat, but is in fact a human.
Yeah.
How that happens is crazy, guys. He's like, oh, well, I guess I should probably start coming to school as well.
Mm-hmm.
So he was basically wanting everybody to come together and just to stay together. That was the wish. Now, I will go over the new true ending, and I just want you guys to know it gets a little bit sad because it hits a little too close to home for me. And then we're going to end this episode off here soon. So, I'm going to go over the sad part with you. The new true ending, I accepted, but it just really, really, really hurts. It's basically, yeah, you're going back to your old ways, but this is the way things have to move on. And you basically accept all the pain that happens in your life. You're not going to just allow it to be erased and you just forget about it, because how would you grow as a person if you don't allow that to happen?
Mark, he also got a job as a cab driver.
Mark, he also becomes a cab driver. Like I said, this game is weird, guys.
Basically, what I was trying to infer with that little comedic relief moment is basically that, anytime something bad happens, you can always start anew.
Yeah. And with this one, that's what this is supposed to represent, because towards the end, the characters, when you go down the true new ending route, the characters all talk about, they're all leaving.
Yeah.
Ryuji, one of our new friends that we made, one of the first people we became friends with when our character moved to this new town,
Ryuji was going into rehab.
Ryuji was going to go into rehab, so he wasn't going to be able to attend school. He wants to start running again.
Makoto and Haru were going off to college.
They're going off to college, but they're not going to be anywhere near Tokyo around that time. Basically, each character knew that they were all going away, and they weren't going to have much time to spend with each other. They would do their best to see each other, but they would promise not to be forgotten.
Yeah.
And the reason why this hits really close to home to me is because back when I graduated from high school, I remember me and my friends all telling each other, you know, when it was our last day, when we saw each other, we all promised that we weren't going to forget each other. We were all going to stay into contact, and we would be there for each other. My friend group back then was ginormous. I mean, you remember.
Yeah.
You knew how many freaking people knew about me and was in our little group. And
I just floated here and there.
slowly but surely, those that weren't all that really close to me, like close as they claimed to have been, they all slowly started to drift away.
Yeah.
So they started to drift away from each other, and it hurt, but then I realized that those that actually truly cared for me honestly did stay with me, which is why you...
Hi.
You, my best buddy of all time, you know, you're one of the few people, I think you're like one of the 2 people from high school that has actually stuck with me. But it's just, it hurts, but I've grown from it. Yeah. I've learned that, you know, people are meant to drift apart. We're not going to always be close to each other. We will do our best, but at one point in time, we all have to kind of go our separate ways in order for us to grow.
I guess it's because in a way, even though we did go to the same high school, our experiences are 2 totally different things. Yeah. Because for me, it's weird because I associated with a lot of people, but it's weird because I have no clue who they are.
Yeah.
And it's you know, now that we're much older and we actually have a job.
We're actually adults.
Yeah. And so you know, I'd be out somewhere and then sometimes I would see someone and I'm like, oh, that's such and such. Yeah. And then it's weird when you remember who they are and then you go and try to talk to them and they're like, who are you again?
Yeah, that's the thing that hurts the most. Yeah. And I've experienced that recently to where it really hurts, where I recognized them, but they just did not recognize me. Yeah. And so, you know, even
it's just
though...
weird in my case, because I'm just even you're just how do you know these people? And I'm
I don't know. But, you know, it happens, but that's how you grow. That's how you grow as a person. And this is why, you know, I accept the new true ending. I'm not going to call it bad because, I mean, this is actual life. This is what happens.
Yeah. And that was even one of the things that we had talked about because, like I said before, you can't have happiness without pain. True. And you're going to need pain anyway.
Yeah, you need pain to know what true happiness feels like.
Yeah.
So we are coming up close to the ending of the episode. So... as a final let go, to move away from the sadness, I'm sorry guys, we're back to it. Just think of the beautiful girl, Catchy, you'll be all good. You'll be all good, I promise.
Kawakami for the win.
You said Kawakami for the win. So, you know what, talking about our favorite characters.
Because we didn't really dive that much into her, but we'll do it next. Well, actually, if you go back and listen to the second episode. Why am I'm putting in a shameless plug here. But
I've been doing it all throughout the episode, so it's fine. You go ahead and put this shameless plug.
I mean, look, so we've already talked about how much you like Goro Okechi. It's weird, because I like freaking Kawakami, okay? Yes, there's... Guys, go watch this. Go listen to the second episode.
Kawakami is an awesome character. Also, let me mention this real quick. Your favorite character from between the 2 versions. Who is your favorite? I already know who your favorite is. It's Kawakami. My new favorite, Kawakami, and let me explain why. Kawakami is this teacher, right? It's already going downhill from here, but trust me, it's this teacher that you learn is she's a maid.
She has 2 jobs.
She's a teacher by day and a maid by night, but not for the reasons that you think it's for. There's a better reason, trust me, guys. And she's doing this so that she can pay back a debt that she feels like she owes. Yeah. But the people that are collecting the debt from her are being very scummy and very cruel about it. And I didn't go through her confidant when I was playing through the original Persona 5. But when I was going through Persona 5 Royal, I actually realized why you loved her so much. Mm-hmm. So, yes. Akechi is still number 1, but...
Kawakami is a high second.
Kawakami is a high second. But with that, talking about maid teachers, we're ending off with maid teachers. That's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. We're going to end off today's episode. So I appreciate you all coming in. I'm sorry that you had to see me gush about Goro Akechi and hear him talk about Kawakami.
It's not weird.
It's not weird. Trust me, it's not as weird as you think it is. But we appreciate you all coming on today and listening to us.
And we hope you've enjoyed listening and watching.
In between the lines.